Big changes are coming to Airbnb in 2025. The CEO and founder of Airbnb, Brian Chesky, shared his bold vision and why you as a host need to stay ahead of the curve.
In today's video, we'll break it all down and tell you exactly how you can thrive in the future of hosting.
Hi, I'm Sarah Karakayan.
And I'm Annette Grant. And together we are
Thanks for visiting.
We've been hosting for well over a decade, welcomed tens of thousands of guests, and earned thousands of 5-star reviews.
Our portfolio continues to bring in over 1.5 million year over year, and supported not only by the industry's leading brands, but also some of the biggest media outlets.
And we're here to help you with your furnished rental.
Airbnb's massive transformation.
Chesky shared that there's going to be a focus on improving affordability, the guest experience, the user experience, and then also expanding outside of traditional accommodations.
Why this matters to hosts.
This is not just about hosting heads in beds anymore. This is really truly about redefining the guest experience. And this is the mission we've been on since we started Thanks for Visiting. It is about up-leveling what it means to be a host and hosting those guests. It is no longer just the bare bones. You have got to up-level everything in your property. So we have to take it from essentials to non-negotiables. You've got to have that coffee station, those upgraded linens. Everything needs to be on point, and you've got to design with your guest in focus. Airbnb's core business.
We've made over 535 features and upgrades and fixes.
Airbnb is drilling down and focusing on guest pain points like affordability and quality.
And then Brian talked about once they can really hone in on affordability and quality, he then wants to focus on making Airbnb go way beyond just accommodations. And we're going to talk about what that means for us. It's one thing for Annette and I to preach about quality in all of our videos, podcast episodes, Instagram posts every single day. But I think it's quite another when we can share with you that since Brian announced the need to hone in on quality, and remember, Airbnb they don't own these homes. We do. So how can they ensure quality? Well, they just boot you from the platform if you're underperforming. And what does underperforming mean? So low reviews, the host cancels a lot, there's a lot of complaints, there's safety issues. They've removed over 200,000 listings since this became a focus of Airbnb. So this just reminds us to not take it personal when a guest gives us critiques and critical feedback. To remember, if you want to stay on this platform, which right now is the biggest driver of most reservations, like it or not, if you want to have the opportunity to be on their platform, to take that feedback and take it to heart and make sure that you are actually listening to your guest.
And we have no idea how this 200,000 got removed. We don't even know if they got hey, here's a heads up, we're going to be removing you, if they could come back to the platform. We don't know anybody that's encountered that removal and that mass removal of folks from the platform, but don't be that person. Don't even have that be an option for your property.
Focusing on quality is of utmost importance to really nail it on Airbnb in 2025.
Some steps that you can take today to make sure that you are giving that quality to the guest. Make sure that your photos are clear. They are exactly what the guest is going to get in your home. They're up to date with all the amenities that you have. We also want your description. That needs to be clear. It needs to be concise. Again, needs to be an honest description of what the guest is going to get in your home. And then your pricing, it needs to be competitive for the quality that you are giving your guest. In your listing, this is not a place to inflate or maybe not be totally forthcoming. If it is just a room in your house, it is just a room. If it is a full property, it's a full property. This is not a place to disguise any surprises for your guest at all.
No, what was it called? Bait and switch? No bait and switch situation.
Absolutely not. They should actually, the goal is that when they actually get to your home, it's even better than what they saw in the pictures, even better than what you described, and the value is out of this world. That should be the goal that you're going for.
And I'll take it a step further, Annette, if that's okay. Things that Annette mentioned are things that the guest experiences before they get there. So when they get there, okay, now it has to be at least meet or exceed their expectations. The clean has to be awesome. Their check-in experience has to be awesome. And Airbnb gives you pretty decent tools to make sure that guests can check in without a hitch. So you not only have to take them online and get them feeling a certain way, but then it has to continue throughout checkout and beyond. It's not easy, but it's doable, and it is essential if you want to be profitable and successful in this business.
Airbnb Experiences and the future of travel.
And I don't know if you can sell everything on Airbnb, But I think one day you'll be able to Airbnb a lot more than just an Airbnb. We don't really disclose ahead of time what we're going to do, but the one thing I've already said is we are going to reimagine experiences.
They want to take the guest stay into the community, so it's going to extend beyond the four walls of that reservation. This is exciting for not only for hosts, but for anybody that has an experience to offer an Airbnb guest.
Well, it's interesting because they tried it for a while. If you've been Airbnb-ing for a few years now, I mean, down to like Airbnb reached out to us and we got to try some of these experiences, like on the dollar of the experience host, because they were trying to promote it. And then was that before COVID?
It was. And then I think part of the COVID squash of a lot of the projects they were working on, we think like the experiences kind of took a back burner there, but they brought them back because there is no denying that the experiences are what travelers are seeking. They are seeking a different experience than that day-to-day hotel stay. And that, great, once they have the place, they have the local, live like a local in that area, well, what's next? There's still a lot of hours in the day besides just that, that amazing space you're staying in. And I think that Airbnb sees they have the platform, they have the marketing, and they have the consumers that have the money to spend when they're in those areas. And I think this is just a natural progression for them to capitalize on that user that they already have on the platform. Not only that, Brian talked a lot, and this was such a lovely part of him talking about 2025, still about this platform is built on trust, and that 99.9% of humans are absolutely amazing. They are trustworthy, and this is what the platform is built on. So why not expand it to more people, more sharing, more physical in-person experiences? He thinks that is a trend that is going to continue to be on the rise. One thing that he I probably said it to Sarah like 10 times before we filmed this video. I had to rewind it a few times because Brian brought up that the vacation rental industry as a whole is a $100 billion industry. Yes, with a B. So when people say that Airbnb is dead, or are people actually still, buying Airbnbs and hosting Airbnbs, that is an emphatic yes. And why would you not want to be a part of it? Because as we go more digital, people are even going to focus more and put more of an investment in the physical. So we are really bullish on, we know where money is being spent. It is definitely in the vacation rental market.
Once you really hone in on that overnight stay and you feel good about the process you've created, you've watched all of our videos and you're like, I'm a master of this. Now think about layering on experiences for your guest. Whether you leverage what Airbnb offers within their platform to communicate those experiences with your guest or not. You can also just offer, whether it's just some ideas for you, filling the fridge, early check-in, late checkout, partnering up with local businesses, whether it's coffee tasting or
brewery tour,
yes,
museums, masseuse, like anything that you want to create, you can. That's what we love about these experiences.
And if you are doing it, how can you make it better? How can you go back through last year and see what the response was from your guest? Maybe there's experiences that actually aren't doing as well as they used to, or were kind of complicated. And so how can you go back and really hone in on what's working? And I want to remind you that for most of these guests, yes, they're coming for a reason, whether that's to unplug, to visit family, but if you can give them the gift of sharing with them what is amazing about the area in which you host, whether it's a metro area or more of a secluded area. That is a true gift you can give your community, you can give your guest. And that's why I love why Brian is not letting that whole experience thing just because it didn't work out or he wasn't able to focus on it once COVID hit. I agree with him that this is what people want. And of course, Airbnb is going to make money off of this. And we can too. So just get your mind around that it's not just overnight experiences.
And the experience, the thing that your guest participates in your area, it will be reflected in your review.
Yeah.
Think about your own travels. When you go places, it's the things that you did while you were there that enhance your overall stay.
Or like if we're at a hotel, or maybe we're at dinner and we ask our server, I've done this before, hey, we want to go out for drinks afterwards. What's your favorite place to go? Like, yes, I can see like what is in, TripAdvisor or like whatever, but like what are the locals doing? That is what you can give your guest. And those are the memories that I have from, I feel like this is the insider secret for
Absolutely.
that community, and I feel a part of it, which makes you feel special. AI's role in hosting and travel.
I feel like we are in the phone book stage of AI. We are still that early. And I think it is starting to begin to change our digital world. but it has not yet changed the most important part of our lives, which is the physical world. And that's maybe one of the reasons why your life hasn't completely changed by AI, is even when it does change on the phone, our physical reality is still exactly the same as it was before.
What he's shared, which I thought was really interesting, is like, go to your phone and your app screen. He's like, what apps have actually changed in the last 2 years? And he was saying, even Airbnb is using AI, but if you go to the app, there's nothing that's truly, really changed or, implementing AI into it yet. So he said, it will absolutely, it's going to change the world, just like the internet did, but it's going to take some time for it to permeate into the physical world and the way we're using it on a day-to-day, especially for the product that Airbnb is delivering to its consumer, which is an overnight stay. That is a very, very physical product at this point in time.
So it really was like, hey, it hasn't changed it yet, but he kept using the word yet. And he kept recognizing that we can definitely mirror this to what happened when the internet came onto the scene. But I love the whole, because I was old enough to remember the internet coming on. I mean, I remember sitting in front of my Atari and I'd dial into the internet and that classic sound. But he was reminding us of when you would want to see someone's website, you had to go to the physical phone book to find out what the website was.
Right. You just couldn't like Google and it would bring up all of the potential options there. But yes, it's definitely going to disrupt, but I really appreciated him just being very honest that for us, for hosts right now on the day-to-day, the AI is not as disruptive as you would hear a lot of the conversations or buzzwords out there. So of course, start to use it if it's available to you, but it's going to be incremental here for a while.
I will not be a stick in the mud to change when I start to see how AI can actually impact in a good way the guest experience, but I am very hesitant to introduce AI when it comes to guest communication. Can I use AI to get the guests the Wi-Fi code when they need it? Of course. But I'm not going to subject my guest to a version of ChatGPT just yet. I still want to remain, and Brian said this too, that great leadership is presence, not absence. And we can talk about that a little bit later, how that can affect like your business. But as it affects the guest experience, I think hospitality is about that human connection. And there is just something about the way we say things, about the way we respond. If you've ever tried ChatGPT, it takes a couple times to get it to say back to you something that's actually helpful and in the right voice. And I know that you can train it, but I'm not there yet. I want to use AI in my pricing technology, in scheduling technology, things that are behind the scenes.
And that AI, like we said, please, if you're not using a dynamic pricing software, you should be, and let the AI work there. But the tools that we're using are starting to implement AI, but we're letting the tools that we use implement it, not us just directly.
Which is cool. It frees up more time for us to get back and to be involved with the guest a little bit more. Or, use AI after 8 p.m. so that you can turn your phone off and feel like your guests will have the code to their home and the emergency number, right? Those sorts of things. I'm not saying to not use AI, because I can feel some of you behind the camera getting angry that I'm saying that, but I really take this opportunity to actually connect with the guest even more than I used to and make sure that I'm staying in touch with what they want.
Reinventing leadership in hosting.
I think it means to be in the details.
Yeah.
I think it means that great leadership is presence, not absence.
So hosts, you cannot be an absentee host. You cannot hire a VA and hire a cleaner and think that they are running your business. I cannot explain for you the ultimate disdain I have for the word passive income. Hosting is not passive income. It is very active. It's active for you. It's active for your cleaner. It's active for your inspector, for who's ever communicating with the guest. And that hands-on and detail-oriented, you will always win as a host. And I think that was the overarching message of all of this, is as hosts, we need to be present digitally while we're communicating physically in our property. And that's what Brian is saying is weaving throughout all of Airbnb and all of its offerings. So that, I think, should be refreshing to you, that the person that pays the most attention is going to win. The person that has the best hospitality is going to win. And you can command the higher nightly rate. You'll have those 5-star reviews, so you will be pushed up to the top of the algorithm. You won't ever have to worry about being a part of a mass disruption of taking listings off the platform. So again, I think everyone should feel comforted in what his focus is and what the company's focus is for 2025. It's opportunity. It reeks of opportunity for all of us.
Yeah, and I want to talk about his approach to presence, not absence. Doesn't mean that he's micromanaging. I really thought that was important too. and that he has to make sure the people he has put in the seats that they're in are in the right seat. So this goes back into, we're not saying not to hire a virtual assistant. You just can't hire that virtual assistant and be like, bye, or hire that virtual assistant and then micromanage them to the fact where, they feel like what you've hired them for, their skill set, isn't being put to good use. It is making sure that you are offering incredible training. So you can't just find a cleaner or a VA, give them like a few minute tutorial and then wish them on the way and then wonder why your reviews aren't great or your guests aren't happy or check-in isn't a breeze. Any of those things it all comes back to you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And you do have to strike that balance of micromanaging or having these people run your business for you and expecting that to work. You have to be present. You have to look at the data. You have to use the extra time you get from AI running, like we said earlier, those operational tasks, so you to see what's working and what's not and to always be tweaking. Your short-term rental business, your hospitality business may not be a billion-dollar business or a multi-billion-dollar business like Airbnb is, but that does not mean we cannot learn from what works for Brian and his company and how we can apply it to our own businesses.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments, what are you going to do this year to up-level, to change the game, and to give that best customer, that guest experience. Talking about a simple guest experience that's physical in the property that all of us can do, no matter where we're located, is our Forgot Something basket. Our guests love it, and it lets them know that we truly are thinking about them. So check out this next video on how to create your own Forgot Something basket.
And with that, I am Sarah Karakayan.
I'm Annette Grant, and together we are Thanks for visiting.